Hello. Uh, ooh. Forget about the mess, okay? I've been busy. There's nothing more important in this world than making video for YouTube that I'm not even making money off of, right? So we all know about second monitor content, right? No? Well, it's pretty straightforward. It's just content that you put on your side monitor, your second monitor, while you do some work on the main monitor. Yeah, it's just a token of the times. People's attention span is getting more and more cooked every year that we even think that we are able to multitask our own attention and focus into two separate things. Something that is very intense on the main monitor, which is probably your work, the things that you need to do, while also watching something on the sidelines. After all, from what I've heard from all these scientists for over all these years, we all have two hemispheres within our brains. Doesn't that mean we can focus on two things within one single brain? Hey, left hemisphere, why don't you try to focus on that true crime documentary and see what's up with that? While you, right hemisphere, you are gonna focus to your job is gonna be, it's just a job. You're gonna work. No, you don't get to choose. But no, it's not true. Well, it is true that we do kind of have like two hemispheres, but I think from what I know from recent studies that we can't really multitask. Whenever we think we are multitasking, there's just a case of people switching up tasks very rapidly. Even if you watch a StarCraft 2 competitive scene, those people are not multitasking, believe it or not. They're simply switching up tasks really quick. Which is fucking crazy. How the fuck do they do that? In any case, I'm starting to go off topic. Second monitor content. They're very interesting that a lot of people do. I do it myself as well. I'm not that proud of it, but I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. It's just something to put on the background. A lot of people put music. A lot of people watch actual shows on the side. What are you? An idiot sandwich. A lot of people watch anime, true crime documentaries,
known as the Nana Nana Boo Boo technique,
YouTube videos, whatever it is, while they're doing something on the main monitor. Another interesting thing about this for me personally is that I've been interested in this kind of idea since a couple of years ago. On my first year of uni, I had a psychology class, and in that psychology class, I had to write a research paper. It's a very basic research paper where you only need to cite 1, 2, 3 sources. I don't quite remember the exact number. And the topic that I chose for that research paper back then is, interestingly enough, how much the second monitor content affects the main task. Well, that's not it exactly, but it's pretty close. What I tried to find out back then is just how much does having music playing in the background on your ears while you're simultaneously doing another task, how much does that background music affect your performance on that task that you're doing? Back then I couldn't find a lot of research on this stuff, and it was kind of conclusive. Well, my research capabilities back then does not compare to my research capabilities now. Not that I'm good now, but I definitely am better, I think, at least. But because of that, it is quite unreliable, but I did find some things even back then, which is very interesting, that there is indeed an effect. The degree of that effect, however, is kind of a spoiler, so I'm not gonna say it for now. Not because I don't quite remember and I can't find the actual research paper, so I kind of sound like I'm bullshitting here. No, it's not because of that. I'm just trying to save your ears from spoilers, of course, obviously. But regardless, even with my very lacking research skills, I could find some research paper that tangentially
Tangentially.
Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right, right? Tangentially touch the thing that I'm trying to do research on with my lacking research capabilities. There exists some paper on that, but I'm even more curious now because now I'm even using second monitor. On a second monitor, I'm not only playing some music in the background, I'm even putting video on top. That's a lot of, not damage, the stimulus on the side, especially if you're doing some very heavy main monitor task. And so here we are now with this very brilliant what am I doing? Very brilliant idea of trying to find out how much does second monitor content really affects your capabilities to focus on a task that you're doing on your main monitor. So the experiment that I'm conducting is pretty simple and straightforward. Yes, it's not super scientific, but that's not the point. The point is fun and trying to find out for myself, okay? So on the main monitor, I'm gonna read a chapter of Nebula Civilization, a web novel that I'm already pretty into. Because I'm already pretty into it, I'm already kind of like invested. It becomes easier for me to read into it, and that mirrors more so of what people typically do on their main monitor. Just some work that you often do day to day. At least that's my excuse, okay? Anyways, I'm reading a chapter from Nebula Civilization on the main monitor, and I have different content on the second monitor. Now, after each round, let's say, I'm gonna make a summary of the chapter that I just wrote. And then after I'm all done, I'm gonna post it to ChatGPT for ChatGPT to rate it. It's not the best in the world, but hey, it works. And it's pretty unbiased, right? I don't have any friends to do the reading and testing and scoring for me, okay? Please, I'm a Gen Z. We're all loaders. In any case, that's what I'm gonna do, so let's go. Alright, let's just say it took a little bit longer than expected, alright? Look at that, man. Look at that. Oh my god. I'm under 24-hour clock, you know? I'm under 24-hour system. Anyways, so what did we find out? So what we found out is actually that podcast is the
10 minutes to realize it was.
Okay, that's a spoiler. I think it's better to do this one by one. It is actually pretty interesting. Some things I expected, some things I didn't really expect so much. Or did I actually expect all of it? Which one will make me sound smarter? So the first one, chapter 226 was... Alright, let me see my notes. Chapter 226 was K-pop. How the family managed to secure the patent rights. The fantasy believes that blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. What do you expect the score to be? I scored it out of 10. I judged on how true my summary are to the actual chapter itself. How many parts of the chapter is missing from the summary? Are there any misspelling? Are there any misrepresented fact or information within the summary that didn't exist within the chapter itself, and a bunch of other stuff. In any case, what is the score? Initially, I expected this to be pretty good, because like, even though it is a song, so first of all, maybe I guess it is kind of unfair. This is the flaws within my scientific experiment, flaws within the design and the system itself. Yeah, sorry, I'm not perfect. I already listened to a lot of K-pop, I already listened to a lot of songs, but yeah, I guess to be fair, I already listened to the rap music that I'm listening to, I already listened to the podcast, I already listened to the stream, so I guess it's fair. It's not a flaw within the system. So back to the topic. I already listened to this K-pop, and I kind of like, usually, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I listen to things, even in lyrics that I can comprehend, a lot of the times I kind of tune out the actual lyrics and I only focus on the melodies, the rhythm, the vibe. Like a wise man once said.
I love Daft Punk. I just like, wow, the noise sounds nice. Like, I like the noise. You know what I mean? I'm like, ooh, the beeps and the boops are very pleasing. You know, like
Music goes boop.
Yeah, music goes boop. Ooh.
Regardless, because I tuned it out, it must mean that it doesn't really interfere with my reading comprehension ability that much, right? And voila, I was right. I got to an 8 out of 10, which is pretty high. I kind of wish I got closer to a 9 or a 10 here. Is ChatGPT giving me a low blow here? ChatGPT is giving me a low blow, right? Surely my summary is better than this. This was the first one. I was more pumped and more energy. I was super into it. Clearly, it was better than that. Yeah, just take it as a 9 or a 10. K-pop music that is pretty incomprehensible, is not really that interfering towards your reading comprehension test. Reading comprehension test for me is something that I do a lot. I do read a lot of novels, which means I would kind of take a guess that it can translate to your mundane job, the things that you do a day in, day out, kind of more accurately. But I think what is also interesting is my actual experience throughout it. I don't know if I managed to record it. I actually had fun. Attitude. Now Yes, I did listen to the songs that I played so many times, but again, I was definitely splitting my focus in two different directions. How is that possible? I thought multitasking is not possible. I thought people just do rapid multiple task changes. I don't know, okay? I just find it really interesting that I definitely was singing, well, not singing along. I just like tick tock tick tock doo 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 doo. I guess I was singing along, but I was still reading while I was reading it. Well, I was singing it. For the next one, which I think is the rap one. No, the next one is the instrumental one. Now for this one, I played Symphony Gustav Holst's Jupiter. And this one, I thought it was gonna be great. I thought this was gonna be one of my highest performance because it's an instrumental. It doesn't interfere at all with my reading comprehension. There's no lyrics. Like literally, it should be enhancing. I thought the easiest way to make your kid a genius is to play Mozart when they are in your mother's womb. If that's the case, then playing an instrumental music while I'm reading something, doing some kind of performance, should be the key to increasing my performance success. Isn't it basically a PED? Well, I'm wrong. I only got a 7 out of 10. What the fuck? I only got a 7 out of 10. It's worse than my fucking K-pop one. Bruh. Is this a failed experiment? Or am I cooked? Is it a failed experiment in the way that I'm actually cooked? I consider K-pop music to be more or less intrusive than instrumental, because I already listened to K-pop way too much than instrumental music. I swear, I actually listen to classical songs, okay? I swear, I'm cultured, okay? Whatever. But yeah, instrumental music seriously doesn't interfere that much. 7 is still pretty high score. Remember, my attention was split. I don't actually quite remember, but like Gustav Holst's Planets, I played Jupiter. Jupiter is pretty high. Even though it's an instrumental music, I even still sing along to it quite a little bit. Let's just move on. Alright, the third one, 228, chapter 228, is the rap music. Now, this one is pretty difficult. It's rap music. It's English.
Can you speak English? Fuck you!
And it's songs that is pretty damn hype and gets you really wanting to sing along. Singing along words that you know the meaning to. Like seriously, when you're hanging out with someone, you can kind of bait someone to say something by just, I don't know, playing along a song, you know? A lot of people accidentally say I'm focusing on the wrong thing, okay? The point is, because it's an English sing-along, it's words that I actually comprehend. Because it's words that I actually comprehend, it does get stuck in my brain, and it does compete for those energy that I'm trying to develop towards the reading comprehension, which is also English, which is also words. So what if those words slip up? Yeah, LeCroc is jumping into the battlefield with a machine gun in the middle of it. Fuck, why am I so bad at making an example? But you get the point, right? So this one is supposedly really hard. If you've done it for yourself, I'm curious what you think. For me personally, I don't actually feel like it's that hard because I actually do that all the time. I listen to music a lot of the time when I'm doing a lot of different stuff. Even when I'm reading, I still listen to music, and it doesn't have to be K-pop, okay? A lot of those music is English, and I do kind of sing along to a lot of it. I find it easy, but what does the performance actually say? It's a 5. Huh? It's a 5 out of 10. Fuck. Like according to the attached notes from ChatGPT, core idea lands, but the Phoenix takedown is misattributed, Aruna becomes Arun, and key action beats are skipped. Those factual errors plus omissions weigh heavily on fidelity. Huh? Fidelity? What does fidelity actually mean? I thought all fidelity has to do is with cheating and TR. What does it mean? So clearly, it does affect me quite a bit, right? It is quite funny that I misattribute Aruna into Arun. Doesn't it sound like a huge different name? Like Asuna to Asun. Taruna into Tarun, Baruna into Barun, Sakuna into Suku. You get the point. Rap music is definitely affecting your reading comprehension abilities. Avoid that on your second monitor, alright? Or maybe if you're doing some job, it doesn't affect you that much. I think the biggest part of why rap music, English rap music in particular, affects this experience, this experiment is because I'm doing a reading comprehension test, and that reading comprehension test is on an English text. Makes sense, right? Regardless, so the next one. So English rap music is bad second monitor content. I played Denial is a River by Doechii, Loser by Kendrick Lamar, and Potato Salad, and also a bunch of other stuff. Well, this is true for most, if not all, the different chapters and all the different rounds, let's say. When I was writing down the summary, I completely zoned out whatever it is on the second monitor completely. I don't even remember what I played, what music was playing in the background. I don't even remember what people are saying. I just can't. When I'm typing, I am completely focused. My attention is not even being tempted by the second monitor, okay? When I'm writing down, it really needs me to focus, which maybe is the biggest takeaway from this video, to be honest. If you want to focus your thinking, write things down. It takes a lot of mental load for you to write things down, so maybe this is the biggest takeaway indeed. Alright, so up next, chapter 221 is also pretty damn hard. This one is podcasts. An English podcast. An English podcast that I actively listen to. An English podcast that I actively listen to, and it's an episode that is one of my favorite. It's a Trash Taste Chris episode. Fuck! Actually, during the experience, I thought it was gonna be really bad. Maybe it isn't really bad. I actually haven't seen the score. But during the experience, I definitely thought it was gonna be really bad. Because multiple times when I was reading, my attention was definitely stolen away by my second monitor. Because they just kept on bantering and I just wanna listen to it, you know? I need my parasocial conversations. Chris and Connor is bantering over there. I just wanna listen in, you know? Yeah, it's hyperbolism, but you get the point, right? Multiple times during my experience, basically, my attention span was definitely taken away multiple times, which probably mean that the score is pretty bad for this round, right? Well, would you look at that? Surprise, surprise, it's actually 7 as well. Just as good as the instrumental round. What the fuck? Yeah, I actually don't know what to say. I don't even know why it's this high. Maybe I kept on looking back? Maybe it took longer? Fuck, should I have timed it? Ah, fuck. I leave it to the editing me. Let him decide. It's his problem now, okay? Let's just move on to chapter 230. Chapter 230 is a K stream. What is a K stream, you ask? A Korean stream. In case you forget, or I didn't really include the clip inside the video already, I can't speak Korean. I don't understand Korean. I want to understand Korean, but I don't. Which means, a Korean stream, I couldn't comprehend anything. Which also then must mean that this one is gonna be pretty damn good, right? Hi, o늘은 gamer. What was the experience like? Yeah, it was actually pretty good. I basically didn't capture anything. So I actually also tried to include some notes on what I actually captured from the second monitor content. And for the K stream, what did I capture? Malang Chapsal plays Dark Days Ahead with Leo going into some runs? Basically nothing. I didn't capture anything. Because even if I tried to watch it, I wouldn't have noticed or understood anything. Yes, it was a gaming stream, but yeah, you know, you get the point. She says a bunch of words, but to me, all of it is just like, I don't know. But how about the score? The score is a 6. It's worse than the podcast episode. What the fuck? Folks, did I fuck up? Is this just because of fatigue? Because it took way longer after some time? My focus is just simply lost, and it's no longer about the second monitor content. It's no longer about the experiment. It's more so about my focus battery. Fuck. It might be true. It might also not be true, right? Because it still makes sense to your preconceived theories, right? It still confirms your initial idea what logically makes sense, right? 6 is still a pretty good score, right? Yeah, 6 is still a pretty good score. The experiment didn't fail. K-streams is still okay, I think. So let's test it out compared to chapter 231, because chapter 231 is also a stream, but this is an English stream. It's an bold stream. A stream of a streamer that I actually enjoy watching, and well, I don't actually watch the streams that often, so it's kind of different, but I do watch a lot of Northern Line.
Get it twisted. Your actions impact nothing. Your fate is predetermined. The only thing that you can change is your reaction to it. If you duct tape your mouth, when you fall asleep, nothing can stop you. Get it twisted? You are a pawn in a universe chess match. You mean nothing to God, if they even exist. You're a rounding error. You're 2 pennies on a Fortune 500 company's balance sheet.
So this one probably affects my performance much more than the K-stream, right? For sure. Like for example, what I noted I understand is Ankh played the Dulls, he played Guess the Movie, Guess the Mixed Faces, New York Connections, and I don't remember the rest. And indeed, the score was a 5. Yes! The experiment didn't fail, okay? It confirms our logical conclusions that English stream would affect our mental capabilities, your reading comprehension way more than a Korean stream, okay? The experiment was perfect, okay? You're not wasting your time watching this video, right? Second monitor content, choose a K stream over an English stream, alright? Anyways, chapter 231, Ang stream, English stream, score is a 5. During the experience, I actually thought that it was gonna be... during the experience, I actually thought it was gonna be kind of good. Chapter 232. So this is interesting because this one is a TV show. It's a fantastic TV show. A TV show that I've been waiting for quite some time. It's a really fun TV show, really highly rated. It's Severance.
Mark W?
Why are you a child?
Because of when I was born.
Severance Season 2, Episode 1, right after a really interesting cliffhanger of the season 1 last episode. How bad is it gonna be? Make your predictions. Make your bet right now. Throw a coin into the river. See what numbers on your clock. What is it?
What is the number? We want the numbers, Mason. That's all we've ever wanted.
How much is my reading comprehension affected by the second monitor Severance playing in the background that I've been waiting for I don't know how long it's been. It actually hasn't been that long, has it? What is that number? Huh? What is that number? Guess. It's 1. And it's so perfect because during the experience I definitely noticed it was so horrid. I couldn't focus at all on whatever Nebula Civilization chapter was about. Fuck, I can't focus at all. Whoa, this is the worst one. Holy shit. I want to focus on this, but I also need to focus on this. Every time I glance back, I just kind of like skim through it because I didn't really care because I just want to watch this fucking TV show. It was so good, man. I only got to watch a few minutes and it was so fucking good. I can't wait to finish it all. I don't care that my summary was horrid. I think there's an explosion. It wasn't like it, but like, I don't fucking know. Odin tried to be a hero, but Night Sky intervened. That's it. Bruh. Basically, second monitor content. Don't put the TV show that you actually care about. Don't put the TV show that you've been waiting for a couple of months or weeks, okay? Just put K-pop in the background, alright? Nothing more than that. Man, am I taking it a bit too far? I don't actually care about K-pop that much, to be honest. Well, whatever. The last one. I did it kind of for the lulz. I basically read 2 different novels kind of simultaneously, and then within the first paragraph I kind of noticed that like if I just ended up reading one novel and then I read another novel chapter right after that, it wouldn't actually affect my reading comprehension abilities at all, right? So what I ended up doing is that I read 1 to 2 chapters of Nebula Civilization and then I immediately jump into Demon Prince Goes to the Academy. I read 1 to 2 chapters there and then go back. Go back to Demon Prince, go back to Nebula Civilization, rinse and repeat until I finish both of them. I finished on the Demon Prince Goes to the Academy because that one is a little bit longer. The chapter is a little bit longer. So I ended up writing a summary for the Nebula Civilization chapter and then I wrote the summary for the Demon Prince Goes to the Academy. How much do you think my performance was affected? This one is kind of for the lulz. I don't think anyone is crazy enough to do this in actuality. If you are, you should get yourself checked in the mental hospital. You might actually be autistic. In a good sense. You might be one of the few geniuses that exist in the world being able to read 2 different texts simultaneously. Like seriously, it's not easy to do. I was doing it and it's kind of pretty hard. Try reading 2 different stories, one paragraph, and try to keep in mind what you've read. And it's proven by the result. The result is 4. 4 out of 10. It's not the worst, it's not Severance level, but it is still pretty low, comparatively speaking. If not for Severance, like for sure, if I put, I don't know, like a true crime documentary, which I don't really care that much, I think my score would have been higher than a 4. I would have guessed. So for this one, I don't know, do it if you don't have anything better to do. Do it if you can't really find some content to play in the second monitor. Edit the video while putting a novel on the side. Put things on the spreadsheet while you put a novel on the side. Write those emails and put a novel on the side. See how much of those novels that you actually read. Don't put an audiobook. Actually put a novel that you need to read. See how hard it actually is. And then folks, basically, the conclusion of this whole experiment, once again, should I do the bit again? Sure. Listen to more K-pop, put K-pop on the second monitor, don't do anything more or less, never put the TV show that you've been waiting for months, weeks, and years on end on the second monitor because you can't fucking focus on the main monitor. Obviously. Apart from that, what you thought makes sense logically probably actually translates to how much it affects your performance on the main monitor. Don't put things that are too distracting, don't put things that are lyrical, things that makes you think a lot of different words when you are trying to do reading comprehension tasks. If you, I don't know, trying to do... What kind of task doesn't need words? If you're trying to edit a photo on the main monitor, I think it would probably be fine to put on a podcast or some English music on the second monitor, to be honest. And yeah, that's about it. It was indeed quite a fun experiment, even though it did end up using my whole day, alright? But whatever, I still did have fun, and I sure hope you did as well. Thank you very much for watching. I sure hope you have a great day. You can go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and whatever if you want. And bye-bye. I hope you have a great rest of your day.